So, from that trailer that originally came out from Infinite Warfare, remember that trailer? You know, the one that's now sitting at 3 million dislikes. It always seemed like Infinite Warfare was kind of doomed from the start, you know, from the moment that first trailer released, it was gonna be a bad year for this game. I'm not even gonna lie, this year was very hard for Infinite Warfare to actually prove itself worth playing, and now that we've finally got our hands on the beta, I can actually say that, well, the game is kind of worth those 3 million dislikes. This game is perhaps one of the most colossal failures I have ever seen from a Call of Duty developer. Now, I'm not trying to focus on the negatives of this game, because trust me, this game has got a couple of good things going for it, but with this game and the way the multiplayer actually plays, it's very hard to actually focus on the positives of this game. Once you start playing it, you will realise that it's so much easier to focus on the negatives. As with every other Call of Duty game, it's way easier to hate them than to actually like them. But with this game, it's almost common nature to actually hate the game instead of liking it. And I honestly don't think that's unbelievable or ridiculous, because this game, well, it's not that good. Let's just start off and say it that way. Because this game, as far as the multiplayer goes and as far as the multiplayer actually plays, it feels like Black Ops 3 mixed with Call of Duty Ghosts, and that's not exactly the best combination you could have went for. I've heard people say about this game that it's perhaps the most boots on the ground Call of Duty game since Call of Duty was actually on the ground. But I actually disagree with that, because this game, most of the combat in this game takes place in the air, in mid-air, when you're boost jumping. And if anybody wants to disagree with that, fair enough, it's your opinion, you're more than welcome to do that. But the thing is with this game, when it comes down to the movement and the way people actually engage in gunfights, you get 2 shots off, they actually hit the enemy, and next thing you know, he boost jumps and then he lands behind you and he shoots you in the back and you're dead. That's how most of the gunfights go in this game, or that's how most of them take place on the map Frontier. And that's definitely not something that I'm keen on. The TTK in this game is something that's very much a product of Infinity Ward games. It's very much a staple of Infinity Ward games for the TTK to be a little bit more on the quicker side of things. Its standard nature has been like that since they've been making games, and I'm not sure why, but it seems that that's their trademark, I'd say. And it definitely is quite fast when you come off the back of Black Ops 3, because Black Ops 3 had a slightly slower TTK, and in this game it's a bit more on the quick side, and I'm not too sure if it's this game being a ridiculously fast TTK, or if it's just we've came off of Black Ops 3, which had a rather slow one. But the weapons in this game are all pretty balanced. That's a plus that I'd say right there. But snipers are not balanced. Every weapon class is balanced and gets enough use, except for the sniper rifles. The sniper rifles in this game are inherently broken. Aim assist is back, and it seems that this year people are using the snipers way more than they usually would have. Now, I think this is just because last year the aim assist wasn't there for Black Ops 3 sniper rifles, and people were that used to the sniper rifles being so hard to use in Black Ops 3 that everybody in their gran has suddenly jumped onto Infinite Warfare, realised that the snipers have aim assist, and thinking, well, I'm just going to use them. And that seems how the snipers are all playing out in this game, because most lobbies you get into, there is 2 or 3 snipers within that lobby, and that's rather annoying. I'd say the first few hours on this game that I actually played last night, it was full of snipers, and it was full of rather confusing deaths. You know, you're charging at somebody and you've got an SMG in your hands, a submachine gun, which is primarily used for close quarters / medium range engagements. But guess what? Snipers can outgun you at close range. Yeah, it's easy. All they have to do is just no-scope you, and you die that easily. That is something that I really disagree with, and I really am annoyed by the way the snipers are in this game. You know, when I was watching the footage from the closed beta last weekend on PS4, I was rather confused because I didn't think they were that bad. I actually didn't think snipers were all that bad. But this year, well, this week even, that I've been playing it, well, this weekend that I've been playing it on the Xbox One, it really is bad. Everybody's using a sniper rifle, and it really is annoying. because you put in the effort, you've got okay aim, you're using a weapon that takes 4 or 5 shots to kill, and you've got to close the distance because you might be using an SMG, which primarily takes less shots, which takes more shots to kill, but you're supposed to be using that at close range. So you try and close the gap on the sniper using a different line of approach than you normally would. Don't charge head on because they'll just kill you easily that way. That's pretty much fundamentally agreed on with sniper rifles. So you try and flank around him, and you get 3 shots in, and he turns around and he just quick scopes you and you're dead. There is no second chances with the way that goes. That is how most of the gunfights play out, and in my opinion, that's not balanced at all, and that's rather infuriating. Yes, you're watching gameplay that doesn't exactly show you many things like that, but in my honest opinion, this game, it really does not feel like Call of Duty. Now you may be thinking, well, this is a slightly different video from you, you've not sworn, you've not ranted or anything yet, and I'm trying to keep this on the more positive side of things because, well, Infinite Warfare is easy to hate. It's a very, very easy game to hate, and it's very easy to just pump all the negatives out and not even mention a single positive thing, and I'm trying to keep that in the middle. I'm trying to keep it in the medium. There is a couple of good things about this game. I do like the way the weapons are. The weapons are quite fun. That's something that I like about this game. The weapons are all fun to use. The MV4 assault rifle is quite fun to use. It's your more low damage, high accuracy weapon. Then you've got the K-bar, which kind of compromises between accuracy and damage. It's got a slightly lower accuracy. It's still quite accurate, but it's got a little bit more recoil than the MV4, but it has higher damage than the MV4. And the snipers are obviously overpowered. I never even meant to say snipers there. I meant to say SMGs. The SMGs are rather quite fun. My favourite at the moment is the Ripper Evo. The Ripper Evo is really, really fun. It's got the hybrid mode from Ghost, which does return on this weapon. You can change it from SMG mode to assault rifle mode, and both ways are quite powerful. The assault rifle mode is very good. It's a very good assault rifle, and it's a very good SMG as well. But obviously it's not the best in class on either side of things, but the weapons are rather quite cool in this game. Another one that's very cool as well is the EBR sniper rifle, or the EBR. In this game, it's got a hybrid mode between sniper rifle and assault rifle, which is quite cool, to be honest. It's quite cool to see something like that actually come along, and obviously it feels like that's more of an adaptation of the Maverick assault rifle from Call of Duty Ghosts, which came out, and it was 2 weapons when it was released, the Maverick sniper rifle and the Maverick assault rifle. Obviously, people thought that they were going to combine the two so you could toggle between sniper and assault rifle, but such as the Ripper, but that wasn't a thing. You either use the sniper version of it or you use the assault rifle, and that's what the EBR feels like in this game. It feels like the real version of the Maverick, the real hybrid weapon, which is something we all expected the Maverick to be, and it turned out to not be. So the sniper mode on it's not the best. It's semi-automatic, so you need to go for headshots, and then you've got the assault rifle mode in it, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. The weapons in this game, they're all balanced, maybe except from shotguns. Shotguns are a little bit underpowered, and they could do with a bit of a buff, but to be honest, I think it's just because last year on Black Ops 3 the shotguns were all insanely good, and every other gun was a little bit, yeah, it paled in comparison to the shotguns, you know? Like the Brecci was insanely easy to use, and the KRM, which is basically just the Remington, was very easy to use as well, and the Argus, which took a little bit more skill, but it was still easy to use. I think it's just we're coming off the back of a very shotgun heavy game, and the shotguns just aren't as good. It's not that they're terrible, it's just they're not as good, but perhaps the S-Ravage will be pretty good, which brings me on to the next section, which will be the classic weapons, which I have not yet had a chance to use. They're available to use in the full game. I think you can actually use them in gun game, but for the most part you can actually use them in the full game, so you know that's something you use then. But classic weapons are returning. They've got the ARX 160, which is a rather bit confusing. It's not really a classic weapon, you know. The ARX it's in Advanced Warfare and it's in Call of Duty Ghosts, and those aren't really classic games. I do love Advanced Warfare, and it was a damn good gun in that game, and it was in Call of Duty Ghosts and it was a pretty good gun in that game, but it's not a classic weapon, you know. Classic weapons, if you're going to bring something back like the STG or the Thompson, not the ARX. Moving on to the next one, however, you've got the MacTav 45, which is the UMP 45. Then you have the TF 141, which is the intervention. Obviously, they had to bring that back. They've got the S Ravage, which is the Sandy Ravage, obviously. Spaz 12 from MW2, not from MW3, because that gun sucked dick in MW3. Finally broke my promise there. I've sworn in this video. Great. The next weapon after that is actually the M1 Garand, which is rather confusing because the M1 Garand has appeared in every Call of Duty game, basically. It's almost as common as the 1911 pistol, to be honest, and the M1 Garand isn't really classic in my opinion. Sure, it's a good weapon and it was good in World at War, but it's not a classic. It was in Advanced Warfare, it was in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and it's been in a couple of other Call of Duty games as well. It's just not a classic weapon, and I don't want to see it back again. We've had it in the last 2 Call of Duty games, and this is going to be the 3rd time it appears. You could have had any other weapon, like maybe even the STG-44. That would have been a cool weapon. Maybe the MP-40, probably not though. You know, just other weapons that he could have had instead of the M1 Garand would have been a bit better. Maybe even the Gewehr 43, that would have been pretty good as well. The Gewehr 43 was damn good. And it's better than the M1 Garand, and to be honest, I'd rather use that than the M1. But yeah, I guess the classic weapons will change between now and the base game. Maybe there will be more guns, but I think that's going to be roughly it. However, in this game, it feels like the weapon selection is a little bit limited. There's not that many weapons to go around. I think that they mainly just focused on the variants this year, which is a bit of a letdown because, you know, you're used to having a lot of guns to use in Call of Duty games, and I mean, fair enough, it's better having less weapons because sometimes less is more. Like, for example, if you've got more weapons, there's more chance of only a select few being used. Like in Advanced Warfare, you had thousands of weapon variants, and mainly the only weapons that got used during that game's life cycle were the Bal 27 Obsidian Steed and the ASM-1 Speakeasy. Those were the far 2 most common weapons in the game. And in this game, it feels like they're focused on having a couple of weapons, but they're all really good, which is pretty decent, to be honest. So yeah, the maps aren't really good. That's definitely something within itself. The maps aren't very good at all. Frontier, it's just clusterfuck maps that aren't very fun to play on. Frontier is just a terrible map. I'm going to settle it. That is terrible. There is no way you can actually find that map fun unless you are a sniper, which you probably will find along sightline quite fun to play around on, but I'm not a sniper. I'm a run and gun AR/SMG user, so I don't snipe. Moving on to the next thing, however, the maps all suck dick. There is Frost, which is, it's okay. I'm going to settle it that. Frost is okay. It's not that bad. People hate it, but I don't think it's that bad. You've got Precinct, which I thought was going to be good, and it's good at times, but it's still too full of snipers. Precinct will be a very good map when there's less snipers on the game, but I think there's going to be a lot more snipers on this game than usual because, well, this game's quite easy to snipe on, and obviously that's going to draw a lot more snipers onto the game than Black Ops 3 would, so maybe there's going to be more snipers, but that's the main problem with Precinct, the snipers. Other than that, the map plays pretty nicely. It doesn't play very nicely, it's just, it's okay. Plays better than Frontier at least. And then you've got Terminal, which, to say the least, it plays the best out of all the maps on the beta so far. Terminal, it does not play at all like the classic Terminal. If you think it does, then yeah, you've got to have a word with yourself. Terminal plays completely differently this year, which I'm not most keen on the fact that it's a very different map now. But obviously, we all knew if a classic map was coming back in a game like this, it would not play the same anyway. Like High Rise from MW2, it does not play the same on AW because that's a remake on AW. Say for example, you've got Banzai in Black Ops 3, it does not play the same in that game either. It kind of does, but not really at all. Whenever you bring a classic map back, it plays so differently, unless it's like Nuketown, which always plays the same. And Terminal definitely plays differently this year. It probably plays quite similar to Terminal though, with the amount of snipers that there is. You know, if you play MW2 Terminal, there's probably an equal amount of snipers, if not more. And yeah, so Terminal's pretty decent. Pre-order bonus map, is it worth it? As much as I'm against pre-ordering, I would say to pre-order the game the day before the game actually releases, then you'll still get the bonus map, and you won't feel guilty for pre-ordering the game because, well, I don't know, I just don't like pre-ordering games. I disagree with the concept, but if you're pre-ordering the day before the game comes out just to get the pre-order bonus, I see no problems with that whatsoever. And another thing as well has got to be the specialist abilities. The specialists are pretty good in this game. They're a bit more toned down. Some of them are annoying, some of them aren't, some of them are just balanced. Bull charge on the Merc payload, that's not very overpowered. I thought that was going to be insanely annoying, but it's not. It's actually kind of balanced. It's very easy to kill somebody using it. The claw seems to kill you quite quickly. The equalizers seem to kill you quite quickly. It's just kind of like Black Ops 3 specialists all over again, but you know, some of them are different. But yeah, I'd say that's roughly it. Another thing that I quite like about the beta is probably the soundtrack. Yeah, I know I'm talking about soundtrack in a beta, but the music's pretty damn good, to be honest. The music, it's got this very dull, kind of dull, depressing mood to it. It's very great. I like the music, to be honest. It really suits the atmosphere of the game, and it's quite cool. I feel like the music will be great in the campaign, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. I hope they release the soundtrack for this game because it's great. There is obviously the soundtrack which had Space Oddity on it, which, you know, was the song they used in the original reveal trailer. That song was garbage, but the music they've got in the game, the OST stuff, the orchestral stuff, that's really good so far. And I do actually quite enjoy it, to be honest. There's one song that I've used in the background of this video that's really good, and I can tell that that's probably going to be one of the best songs within the game. The main menu song's pretty good as well, to be honest, which kind of feels like a bit of a music nerd talking about this, but well, I'm quite a big fan of music, so I notice stuff like that. Score streaks aren't very good at all, which is rather quite annoying. The score streaks are just underpowered, really underpowered, to be honest. And it's not very fun when you go on this massive kill streak, which takes a long time in this game, because trust me, this is a hard game to streak on. Like, Black Ops 3 was fairly easy, and in this game it's like you die so quickly. So when you've put in the effort to go on a big streak and you get something like the 4 and you don't get many kills from it, it's not very, you know, it doesn't feel very good. And to be honest, that's the main attraction of Call of Duty, the kill streaks. Let's not even kid ourselves around here. The kill streaks are what brings you to Call of Duty games, because no other game has kill streaks. And this game has kill streaks, but they're not very good, so I guess we'll just see how things go. I'm not too sure how long this game will actually last. To be honest, as I said, it doesn't really feel like a Call of Duty game at all, so maybe it will last a while, maybe it won't. I don't think it will last very long, in my honest opinion, which, yeah, maybe a bit of a disappointment to some people, but I think Modern Warfare Remastered is going to be a bit more popular, and obviously that game's not going to be very popular either, because it's a great game, but, well, Modern Warfare didn't exactly have the most amount of stuff to play around with. Like MW2, that had a lot of stuff to do in that game. You know, you had so many kill streaks, you had so many weapons, you had so many customization options, and in Modern Warfare 1 you didn't really have that stuff. So yeah, this isn't an MW1 video, so I'm going to stop talking about that now. But this game doesn't feel like Call of Duty, and it kind of feels disappointing in a way. I mean, I'm not going to say that I absolutely hate it, but it's not very good so far. It's definitely a lackluster game, that's for sure, man. I mean, there's so many things in this game that just let me down about it. And to be honest, it's not as terrible as everybody once thought it was, but it's definitely not a good game either. It's definitely not very good, to be honest. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's been a Lone Courier. If you've got any opinions on Infinite Warfare, be sure to leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. See you guys later. Peace.